what's going on at Pollen, how's all the chaos impacted us. The short answer and the good news is it hasn't directly. We haven't had any direct exposure by design. We certainly understand that the broader community has those, so we're sensitive to that. It hasn't had any direct impact on our plans or operations. We've been planning for kind of the worst, just out of an abundance of caution, since all this volatility started. I would say the one thing, if it's affected anything, is it's just redoubled our commitment to uh, uh, running as fast as we can to getting paid data flowing, just to show that this is a different type of project, and we're building something real and something with real commercial value. So long term, it's also, I think we said this before, a good thing, for all the more speculative projects to be wiped out, and kind of the strong survive, and the as Warren Buffett says, you see who's swimming naked, and I think we have a bathing suit on. Although I'm getting weird looks in the room, so maybe not everybody's into bathing suits, which is interesting.
Christian has bathing suit on, but
Well, that's just my daily work outfit, the Speedo. Okay, so agenda today, we'll talk about Cyber Monday, the introduction of owls. We're announcing some changes to rewards, and then we'll give you an update on weekly validations. We'll also talk about some things going on that we're hearing from folks in the field. So Cyber Monday is live, 10% off everything in the store. If you haven't checked it out, if you weren't aware of it, you should definitely check it out now. Sally, anything to add on that?
no, I think just buzz on over. I saw a question about the flowers in Q&A, and just to be clear, all of the flowers are 10% off, along with the bees and our new CPEs, the owl. And we are going to extend the 10% off Cyber Monday until the end of the day tomorrow. So you will have till the end of the day tomorrow to get that 10% off.
Cool. And sales have been surprisingly good so far, given everything going on. So
Yeah.
thank you for everybody who's been helping grow the network. Owls. We introduced owls. This is big news. This is exciting. We're super excited about this. So if you weren't aware, owls are CPEs, customer premise equipment, right? Is that something close to that?
Yeah.
Essentially allows anybody to put up a device at their house, receive a pollen signal from a flower, and have home internet. Exciting for a lot of reasons. One, we've had folks, I'm getting the thumbs up that I got the acronym right. All right. Folks have been testing these out in the field. You may have seen some of our Twitter activity. The guys at Layer Zero in LA have been taking advantage of some pocket CPEs to get Wi-Fi service when they're in the field. But most importantly, CPEs give folks a way to monetize the network in a very fast, easy way that doesn't require a lot of infrastructure changes. So the idea is to simplify it. You could set up, anybody can set up a WISP. It's kind of a WISP in a box. If you have access to backhaul that allows you to rebroadcast it, you can set up a flower somewhere where folks either don't have good access to broadband, or they don't have access to affordable options, and you can sell them CPEs, get them to buy CPEs, lease them CPEs, and start generating revenue from the flower by having those folks subscribe to home internet. There's obviously some parameters we need to put out there around that. We're working on a pilot with our friends in LA where we're going to test this and on a paid basis. And then once we ensure there aren't any, when we work out any kinks, we'll be rolling it out more broadly with the billing infrastructure and pricing and things like that. So big news, super exciting. We think there's a lot of potential here, and there's a lot of we've been talking to a lot of different partners who've got some big plans for building businesses around this. See if there's any questions on that. These pocket CPE tend to be mobile. Yes, the mini CPEs are mobile. They broadcast Wi-Fi. Are there physical SIMs available? Not yet. So we're selling the CPEs with the SIMs. Eventually, we will open up physical SIM sales to anybody, so you don't have to buy the CPEs from Pollen. Okay. Oh, Fisher just joined. What's up, buddy? I don't know how you got on stage. That was a ninja move there.
How are you, pal?
Is what?
I said, how are you? Yeah, it was a sneaky. I'm a little sneaky.
Somebody's need to check the security settings on Discord. Big Mac sauce. Why has Discord been dead lately from the team, at least? Yes, 44 Court. It's been Thanksgiving. We've also just been heads down, buried, working hard at building out the network. Okay, changes to rewards. So I think this is probably the most exciting bit of today's meeting. Max, your Christmas has come early. We are implementing planning on implementing an attached rewards decay. So as the number of Bumblebee attaches increases, as we hit certain thresholds, increments of 10. Fisher, dude, I'll meet you.
Oh, sorry, man.
You're blowing up. There will be a decreasing scale of pick rewards. The intent here is to try to make it a bit more fair for areas that don't have the current density of bumblebees, and encourage building of the network in more than just one or two cities. Second one is the flower uptime requirement. So we're bringing this back. We're doing it in a more measured ways. It's going to be the flower needs to be attached for at least 80% of the day, or UTC day. It's not going to be just the last 80%, like the first time we rolled this out. It's going to be 80% of the entire day. So you don't have to worry if you lost power or something in the last 10 minutes of the day. You're not going to lose the entire day. That'll only affect flowers. It won't affect any bees, bumblebees or honeybees that have been doing validations. And then the last one is a flower movement check. We're going to start penalizing flowers that move more than 1 hex per day. This is just another potential cheating vector. Again, won't affect the bees. It'll only affect the flower. And we're running analyses to ensure that we can account for drift and things like that. Before I go to questions, let's just talk about weekly validations as well. So this is also big. Heard from a lot of folks for a while now that the expense and the time commitment to do daily validations is just becoming a lot. So we will be turning on the weekly validations, which means you only need to run the validations once in a week, and you'll get 7 days of credit when we run the rewards. That'll be rolling out in the next 2 weeks. Nothing else changes. The thing that's been holding this back is the real-time rewards, real-time mapping feedback. So we want to make sure that if somebody went out and spent one day or 5 days hitting all the hexes they wanted to map. And then, you get to the end of the week and find out that none of them registered. You don't lose an entire week's worth of rewards. So initially we are going to be showing, we're still going to be showing validation data daily. So nothing will change on that front. But you only need to do it once per week in order to get the full 7 days worth of PCN payments. Yeah. Anything I'm missing there, Oscar? Okay. So those are the big announcements. Okay, let's see what else we have in the chat. Max, I tried to run a hotspot off my mom dedicated phone, but wasn't able to. If you're saying you were trying to run a hotspot from your phone, that's not something that the core can currently support. Correct? So that's why, Max, that's not going to impact your ability to run CPE.
But we're looking to support it.
You guys didn't hear that. The hotspot is something we're looking to support. Will the outdoor CPE need indoor router MAC authentication? I'm looking at Oscar.
Depends. We will, as time goes by, we'll be enforcing certain things on the CPE usage and any enforcement on MAC address or any other, I guess, unique identifier. But for now, we just want to get them out there so you can start using them and trying them out.
So it'll just be plug and play.
For now, it's plug and play. We want to see people using them and finding new use cases for them.
Max is pointing out he calls Christmas Hanukkah. So apologies for that, Max. I think he spelled it wrong too. What's been going on with the bulk units? It's a good question. We're still working on it. We've had great results in testing, but we know that a lot of folks have been having trouble. Is there any updates on that from the Blink team? Blink's been working with us on it as well.
Yeah. Also, so they were an up and coming producer, so there's bugs here and there, and we're just working on ironing them out. So as new units come out, hopefully they have less and less errors to deal with. And then there's shipping delays on top of that, so sorry for that.
What was being affected for the flowers, but not the bee? I don't know what that means, Vincent. Do you know?
So you get a pick. There's like the pick validation has two sides. The
Okay.
flower gets a pick, and also the bumblebee gets a pick. The pick generated from the bumblebee would not be affected, but the pick generated from the flower would be affected.
Hopefully that answered the question. Will there be a weekly epic on pick? No. So let me summarize. So everything will be the same for all intents and purposes. In terms of the math and the picks earned, the difference will be we run the rewards once a week, and then the rewards pool being paid out instead of being 300,000 will be 2.1 million. So this will be 7 days worth of rewards. So hopefully that clarifies it, but happy to further discuss. What will be the sliding scale for BB attaches between different units? It's a good question.
I think it will remain the same. It's mostly on how many BBs.
Yeah.
Is that on that touch reverse decay?
Yeah.
I think it will remain the same for flower for now, but it will just be scaled on the number of BB specificity that flower.
Yeah, it's not the number of hexes, it's the number of bumblebees. Okay. How will it work with bumblebees verifying above and beyond the daily conditions? I'm not sure I follow. Bumblebees verifying above and beyond the hex max. Well, there won't be any change, but there will be a decreasing reward scale for every time you hit a new tier on
Number of unique bumblebees. So
Yeah.
the hex limits will remain the same, it'll only scale on how many bumblebees visited you, because after a certain amount of bumblebees visit you, the information that we get is less and less meaningful.
Okay. Blinks keep losing IEPS connection to pollen. Uh, Straight answer. When did we not give you guys a straight answer? Come on. Okay. Here's all being asked. Past problems. Yep. Heated lime is the amount of bumblebees per day or per week? No, it'll be. That's a good question. It's per week. So nothing changes, but the counting period becomes a week, and the payment amount becomes 7 times the daily amount. That's the simplest way of thinking about it.
Forcing daily uptime. So if you don't meet the uptime requirement for that day, you'll lose the picks or that day afterward out of the 7 days.
30 hex moonflowers can get more bees than a dandy. What scale takes into account? Yes, but they also get more hexes.
Which one? Cold?
No, Soldier. So you got 30 hex moonflowers can get more BBs than a dandy. Hope that scale takes into account. I mean, it gets more hexes, more bumblebees that validate it. It's going to get the same treatment as a dandelion getting more bumblebees validating it. What is the anticipated end user price for the Owl Wi-Fi service? Great question, Jim. So that's one of the things that we're piloting. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but if you look at where the MNOs are pricing their 5G and home service, it's going to be inside of that. Obviously, with CBRS, we face some power and speed restrictions that we need to price in. So I think those are generally $50 a month. It'll be somewhere inside that. The way that we're thinking about it is we're obviously going to be providing the back end and the customer support. The easiest way that this would work is, somebody sets up a radio in a rural area where they have access to fiber, and then they're able to, and maybe it's multiple flowers, and you're able to provide connectivity to, entire neighborhoods or communities. And then that person kind of being it's kind of sort of a WISP franchise would go out. We'll be marketing as well, but if it's your flower, you obviously have a vested interest in going out and trying to get folks to be aware and sign up for the service. That we've talked through different models, whether it's getting the end users to buy the CPEs, or maybe you lease to them for like $10 a month or something like that. And then they would pay the pollen. We would provide the billing, and then per the revenue share algorithm in the white paper, 80% of those payments would come back to the flower owner. Happy to take any other questions on that. Sorry, my straight answer may have seemed rude. No, that wasn't rude. Not at all. Colton, so do you need to validate every day to get paid once a week? No. No, the whole point is to eliminate the need for daily validations.
Say on Wednesday you validated your flower, you get the attaches for the picks for the BB, but if your flower didn't meet the 80%, what is it, requirement, then you will lose the picks for that flower for that day.
Yeah, okay. If that was the question, Colton, if you don't meet the uptime requirement, then yes, you will not get credit for it. And maybe we need to think about looking over the week or something like that, so people can't game it.
So I think people were asking, we'll release a document explaining everything, and we'll put examples so there's no confusion.
BB attached words being cuts. When Lambo, can you explain the role of greenhouse? What happens to folks who have the old hardware? It's a good question. So we will be rolling out the ability to convert all AGWs to greenhouse. The only old hardware is the AGW itself. Nothing will happen to it. You can keep it, and there may be use cases for it down the road. It does provide edge computing power, local storage, things like that. If you ever wanted to do local network breakout, it's critical for that. So you don't need it going forward, but everything else remains exactly the same.
So we will announce when we start the migration of the AEW or the STEM hardware, and then we'll keep you posted, but it's coming soon.
Will BBs need to connect to a flower before grace period ends on a daily basis?
In the weekly scheme, you have the entire week to upload the logs, but ideally you would have to upload them every day so you see your progress. So just make sure that you plug in your BB so you can see your daily progress once we update the reporting infrastructure.
Can we get a doc that explains? Yes. Yeah. We'll be putting out a detailed blog post and updating documentation to explain it all. Do we have to use pollen CPEs? No, you don't. Right now we're selling the CPEs just because we've tested these two models and we want to make sure everything works smoothly. Eventually we'll be opening up and selling physical sims so you can use your own CPEs. Glad we helped the owl pricing. Verizon's down to 25 a month. Isn't that with Verizon service though? Like if you have a Verizon plan, then it's 25, otherwise it's 50. Same thing with T-Mo. Is Pollen partnering with any MNOs so honeybees can connect and I have a break in service? I think you're asking, are we planning on having a roaming agreement so Pollen Sims can work anywhere in the country? The answer is yes. That is something that we have in the roadmap and we're working on. Are pollen drops still 100 daily or 100 per week now? Well, that's a good question. I think it's still 100 a
For
day.
the time being, yes.
Yeah, 100 a day. Is there a deal with Dish or do they invest in pollen? They did invest in pollen. We publicly disclosed that at the time of the investment. We had the Hello show with Orange and Chris from Dish the other week. I think it's all on that for now. I'm working with DT and next gen stuff is going to okay. They're unlimited. Yep. How dangerous would it be for me to visit the Bay Area? Yeah, Max, you're gonna have a target on your back for a while, buddy. Are there plans for full remote management or this? Short answer is yes, the DY guy. We do plan on having enhanced fleet management tools. MSOs. So a flower like this, it's in a high traffic area and gets 10K attaches a day. Once we switch to weekly validation, the CN earns the extra attaches disappear. I don't think so. It's this again, nothing changes, just the counting period goes from a day to a week. And the decay kicks in and the rewards go from 300,000 to 2.1 million. So it's just changing the time horizon, increasing the awards paid in the broader horizon. Okay, Jam, cool. Yeah. So we will probably be north of the 25, since the 25 is only available if you're paying for their overpriced cell service. Where's the incentive of getting high value units provide better services? So it's a good question, Evan. If we've run the math, and again, we'll put out the details and you can run the math too. We're very cognizant of we're not wanting to penalize things like the gigaflower. So I don't think it's going to have the drastic impact that everybody thinks it's going to have. We do think it'll make things more fair and equitable. We do think there's probably some anti-swarming defeat stuff going on. So that's something we're also looking into, and I think that's part of what's making the distributions a little lopsided between cities. Buttercup's value should be upped. Yeah, that's a good point. We've talked about making hex cap limits variable with staking. We still think that's probably the right thing to do. It's just a matter of priorities and resources. We haven't gotten there yet. To the broader point of should Buttercups have more than 30, that's a good question. We can look into that. We've definitely seen in our range testing in a controlled, semi-controlled environment, we've seen much longer connection quality from a blink than a Buttercup. So we think there is a differential, stronger signal, better signal from the blink. So, there needs to be some relative difference between them, unless we see otherwise. But it's something we'll definitely take into consideration. Some appreciation for bringing a working DeFi network. I get it. Won't comment on that. Will Pollen NFTs have any use case in the future besides just rewards?
I mean, one I can think of explaining rewards amounts, like a host and a flower provider. So hopefully one of the projects will facilitate one of the grants project.
Yeah. I mean, Fisher's. I think that's how Soul shares. Fisher, correct me if I'm wrong.
Sorry, I didn't hear what the question was, but yeah, I couldn't really hear in the background.
Soul share, is that going to use NFTs as like you basically have to pledge that and then it allocates
Yeah.
reward?
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's going to take the NFT and use it to target a contract instead of a wallet, and then split off the required shares to whoever's involved.
Pretty dope.
And then NFTs also allowed verification of ownership. So maybe that future management panel will require you to verify the ownership of NFT before you can do any like important function like a reset or get more information about your flower.
It's also like a very interesting potential form of identity on Web3, kind of the digital world, in kind of a post phone number world. We've talked about this a few times in the past, but if you think about it, phone numbers are really kind of archaic anachronisms that came from like the guy at the switchboard connecting house 1 to house 4, like and it's still a highly centralized thing. So NFTs could be and especially since Pollen NFTs are associated with your mobile service, it's kind of a natural thing to think about in the future. Maybe you're identified in the digital world by an NFT like your Pollen SIM versus a phone number. What are the killer bees coming out? What's its use case? How's it gonna be different? Don't have a firm plan to roll those out. Killer bees we don't have a very solid definition of them, but like generally kind of the thinking is they would be a bee that has like super sniffing powers, and you would stake PCN to be able to own one and use one. And they would be a super trusted source of validation. So if there was suspected spoofing of coverage and a killer bee was sent out and confirmed they couldn't get coverage, then we'd have a pretty strong signal, a trusted source of validation that probably is spoofing.
Involve way to collect information about other networks in one package.
Although the future Bumblebee is going to have that, right? Drop in a little alpha there. Okay, a little more shade being thrown. Love it. Is continuous coverage multiple still being considered? Yeah, absolutely. That we think that's going to be a critical piece of evolution in the network. Max, what am I supposed to do with all my extra time each week? Get a job. Yeah, I don't know. Hobbies. Find some friends. Yeah.
Friends.
Friends. Go to the bar earlier every day.
Something at 6.
Any thoughts on using the updated FCC map, students unadvised coverage in poorly covered areas? It's a good question. We haven't specifically thought of that. We certainly thought they were helpful in helping direct things. I think especially with the ability to monetize the network using CPEs, those could be interesting.
I think it's
Yeah.
figure out Texas needing to deploy that hardware. So I'll flip the question to you.
Oscar flipping the script. Anyway, nope, we're not going to talk about that. How is Pollen differentiating itself unique from XNet? Good question. Look, we don't like to talk about other projects, good or bad. We think that we have a better model for incentivizing coverage. We think we've got a better, as I say that now, I'm going to talk about how we think we're better, but we've got a better team. We've got more momentum. We've got great partners. They're taking a very kind of centralized approach, which has its merits and its drawbacks. I think that we have a better, let's say, strategy that we're pursuing. Let me just leave it at that. Great job. Are you my mom? Oh man, Max, you're just setting me up. Like I really want to take the bait on that, but I'm not going to. What kind of metrics are you trying to get out of the layer 0 LAs? Good question. The most important one is some market validation that the pricing works, that it's a commercial product that people are willing to pay for. And we also want to make sure that we're getting the performance out of a real world deployment of the flower plus CPE and the use case, starting with small businesses in the LA area. Want to make sure that they're getting the reliability, the speeds, et cetera, that they need to run their business. Is paid data end of year timeline change a bit? We still hope that we're going to have the first paid data by the end of the year. So the LA pilot, very likely, again, knock on wood, will turn it to be our first paid data. Paul doesn't have free trip to Burning Man. We've got some burners on the staff though, like some hardcore burners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you guys need tips, inside angle on anything, we can definitely help you out with that. Any updated future data traffic rewards? Not sure what that means. Future data traffic rewards.
The same question as Big Sauce.
Yeah, I mean, we're once data starts flowing, people are gonna start making money. As soon as we get people paying for it, and again, hopefully it's by January 1st. Oh, I had one other thing to talk about. It was the Blink. Actually, we talked about it. Okay, so who'll be making the money? The flower owner will get 80% of the payment for the data. So if you go to the white paper and look at how we've laid out the economics, for fixed wireless for the CPEs, it's very simple, right? If somebody's paying $30 a month and it's a CPE connecting to your flower, you're going to get $24 for that. When are loot boxes and bounties going live? Great question. So there's some other pilot stuff we're working on. That is probably too early to talk about. That we think that turning those on next month or two. Again, it's just a matter of prioritization and when we get there. But we think those are going to become relevant pretty soon. Best performing flower.
By what metric?
Yeah.
Reward?
I mean, in our testing, we got the best range out of the moonflower. Buttercups have also gotten amazing performance in the right setup in the right environment too. An antenna. I like to use the analogy, the moonflower is the iPhone and the buttercup's the Android that you can customize. No? Okay.
Like, he has to pick a child.
Doesn't everybody actually have a favorite child though? They just like to, you can't tell your kids you actually have one.
Yeah, I have a favorite.
Yeah. Hopefully this isn't being recorded and 10 years from now they're gonna find it and
It might change. It might
Good.
change.
that's a great.
Now that this is being recorded, who's your favorite child?
I can't say because it might change.
If I put a CPE at say a coffee shop, are individuals in the coffee shop paying for usage on the CPE? No. So if you set up a CPE and you're paying for the SIM that is paying for the data on the Pollen network, then you're broadcasting a Wi-Fi signal that if you share the password, anybody can watch it. To update my last, will it be base per gig per user? No. So for we have we think what's a pretty innovative pricing model that is going to apply kind of across the board for paid data. We're not ready to disclose it yet. Some of us were itching to put it out there, and some of the more responsible ones, like Sally, were saying we should wait till we have a more baked elegance
That's true.
presentation of it.
We would prefer to under-promise and over-deliver than over-promise and under-deliver. We want to do the right thing by you guys. That's why I'm here. Voice of reason.
Voice of reason. So again, if I think it's safe to assume if you're running, if you've got folks buying a CPE and wanting to get access to the internet via your flower, assume it's going to be something between $25 and $50 a month, and you're going to get 80% of that for every CPE. Will the 30-day window reset when they go live? What does that mean? Ringinator, don't know what that means if you want to clarify. Elmo, is the $24.99 pay the radio owner net 30 or broken down daily? Good question. I don't think we have a good answer for you yet. It's going to depend on the on-ramp and how the whole payments back end works. Right now, we're just focused on validating it works, and that we have a product that customers are willing to pay for. Are we getting an updated roadmap for 23? That's a great question. We probably should do that. Just an updated roadmap. We put out kind of a general roadmap a while ago. Yeah, that's a fair ask. Really best range from a moonflower? Interesting. Yeah. 2 miles. Yep. How will CPE be priced? CPEs, if we're selling them, we'll price them. If we're selling this physical sims and you buy your own, then really whatever you can get it for in the market. Or are you talking about how the data will be priced? If that's the question right now, we're not thinking of localizing it. Thoughts on decreasing radio counts? Well, so on the decreasing radio count number, part of that was an issue with the back ends where those numbers get pulled from in the Explorer. Has that been fixed? Do you know?
An issue with some software that we got from someone.
Yeah, it's one of the manufacturer's systems that's giving us bad data right now. So the decreasing counts, there maybe have come offline. I don't know, but like the big decrease that you've seen is not accurate, and we're working on fixing that. We've also not been selling hardware for a couple months, right? So that's been on us. MNF. Oh, okay. ERP 29. Steve coined the term Mooney. I like that. It wasn't a Mooney like a cult or something? I don't know.
There's a funny guy named Kyle Mooney.
Mm,
Saturday Night Live.
debatable that he's funny though.
I think he's funny. I think he's really, really funny. I do. We're gonna put a quiz up
Okay.
on Discord.
Okay.
Okay. I think I'll.
Kyle Mooney. Is Kyle Mooney? It's just gonna be, is Kyle Mooney funny?
Yes, Kyle Mooney funny. I
Okay.
don't know how to do a survey in there. I'll ask for sure if we can.
If he wins the vote, maybe we can get him to be like a
Spokesperson.
Paul Cooney's one of the few that thinks you're funny. Oh.
Or he could do one of those cameos.
You could do a rap, like when you did the Eminem rap battle or the Kanye rap battle. Realistic shipping date for Blink units. It's a good question. So it should be next week at the latest, but let us get a firmer answer for you. Did you answer the loot box reset question? No, I didn't know there was a loot box reset question. Was that the 30-day reset? No. What's the loot box reset question? Thoughts on Kanye running for the presidency? You know, like a month ago, I would have weighed in on that, but like I'm just not going to touch that. That's gotten a little too hot. Mooney's cultist. Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Moonies to the Moonies. All right, Casamigo. I don't know. Gonna skip that. Having a hard time seeing the benefit of going BC or Moonflower. Overlap hexes and earn more with less hexes covered. I don't think that's true.
The flower side fix the K, but not the bumblebee side fix the K. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah. So I don't, because they all get treated the same, I don't think Soldier, the math you're alluding to is gonna play out, but let us know if we're not reading that right. When will loot boxes go live when they do with the reset from cumulated box date? Oh, we did sort of answer this. Don't have a firm date. We're working on some stuff that we think they're going to be important to roll out in conjunction with. Will they reset from accumulated loot boxes to dates? No, I don't think we're going to reset anything. You're talking about, I assume you're talking about the accumulated pollen drops, which is a little bit different from loot boxes, but Sierra FCC's yeah, the short answer is yes. That's what we're intending to use loot boxes for. Colton, no. Whoever is using the CPE pays pollen, and then whoever's flower is providing the coverage gets 80% of the payment. It's no different than the white paper where we're talking about on a per gig basis. If it's 50 cents a gig and the flower owner gets 40 cents of it, now we're just saying, you know, if it's $30 a month, you're getting 24 of it. How are you paying flower owners in USD? Again, we haven't fully worked out the payment system, but you know, you've heard the grants committee. Oh, I think I skipped the question from grants committee. Grants committee talking about one of the things being considered as a payments protocol that would be used in converting USD to PCN, which is the ultimate goal of how payments will be made. The PGP, Fisher, did you want to give an update on that? I know there's not much to update right now as the committee is working through the AMA's presentations.
Yeah. So yeah, this week, is a little slow, obviously, with the holiday and everything. But I'm looking to try to get the vote scheduled sometime next week. I just have to round up all the different parties to get it through, and then from there we'll be announcing after we go through all the motions of that. Yeah,
Cool.
that's pretty much it. It's not too much more.
Cool. When pollen commercial video? Good question.
Say again?
When pollen commercial video? Yeah.
Well, we are doing some other foundational updating, and once we've grown even more, we can look into a commercial. Quite frankly, the long form commercials are very, 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 very expensive, and I want to focus on shorter educational spots to start. Remember, you guys, we are still small, and we are growing with your guys' support. So we'll move up to commercials at some point.
Funny story. We kind of shot one that was supposed to be used for the Hello Orange.
Funny, before it was here. 1 week here, we shot the craziest looking commercial that Christian starred in, and someday
I'm gonna find every copy of it and
we may release it.
burn every server that has a copy.
Not
No, we had Evan and Megan from the community, Zeke. We had some others who had volunteered to be actors. Kelsey was in it.
Kelsey, we had a lot of people, and the issue is that the videographer
The director was
odd.
it
Yeah,
was-
so I understand. Everyone in it was great. It's just the way that it was directed.
It's like that movie, The Room. Like 10 years from now, it's gonna be a cult classic. Yeah. It's gonna have to be a fairly simple, polished UI. Yep, 100%. It said 30, but 20 for goes to the flower owner. That's correct. It's the 80% of payments go to flower owners. Can internet service providers stop? Yes. Great question. So you're gonna have to make sure that you've got, if this is something that you're getting in the business of, you're gonna have to have a backhaul that allows it. So whether it's a commercial or direct access to a fiber head or something like that, that'll be an important consideration. Round is up, DY Cowboy. Don't know what that means. Don't think I want to know. Yep. Soldier. If you want to shoot us a DM, Soldier, with your math, happy to take it in consideration. I mean, the other thing that, especially now that we're charging for data, you get more power coming out of the Moonflower. You get more concurrent users. You get more data throughput, which all become relevant if you're charging per month. So that also should factor in the calculation. Are we considering LTE handheld two-way radios? It's trending now. This is like a push-to-talk thing. I don't know. Maybe. It's not something that we have, I think, talked about. What about something simple like billboards in areas lots of using college? Yeah, no. We're Sally's all over the marketing thing, and as we roll out the CPE, WISP type stuff, we do plan to do targeted advertising in conjunction with the folks rolling out the network in the area. Can y'all post it? Absolutely not.
What?
Name wants to see the video.
No, Christian won't let us. Someday we'll do it. I promise. We'll get it out there. I have a copy. Can't be burned.
My consent to use my likeness has not been signed
That's
away.
right. That's right. Also, I'm posting a poll on Twitter, so if you could go ahead and respond.
This is the
I'd
Cal
love
Mooney?
it.
Amazing. This is a great area of concern. Can you use later or something? Yeah, that DY. Is it something you can get away with until you get caught? Possibly. We don't endorse that. Can we get the what is helium girl out to do it out of spite? I don't know. I don't think we'd do a 3-minute super boring video. That would,
It doesn't have to be super boring. I think we just just keep it to 30 seconds or less. I think it'd be pretty funny.
100%.
it would be pretty funny. Steak to watch. Yes, I love it. Guys, it's like 40 picks per day. Max fighting a good fight. I'm not sure which fight he's fighting though. I worked for a Bond film director. Only about 40 million PCN. That'd be pretty dope. You get more users on 3 radios than you do with 1 radio. Well, it depends on the radio. Again, if we get the math wrong, like let us know and we'll fix it. Max spitting some numbers. PBs are like 250 per hex. Yeah, again, it's not just as we move to pay data, it's not just about the proof of coverage rewards. But we hear you. Send in the specifics of what you're seeing as imbalanced, and we'll try to factor it in. Where to send? You should definitely send it to Zeus Dog. She can run air traffic control on that. She gets volunteered since she's not here. Shits are a brick. I don't know what that means, but it could be a cool
That's
rap
cool.
line. Yeah.
It's cool.
Shits are a brick. This could be our new tagline. Cool. Sally just put the poll live. All right, guys. Anything else coming up on the hour? Any audio questions? Actually, I don't see. Oh. Data pricing. I don't know. It's something we're testing. Something between $25 and $50 a month is what we're thinking. Hold up, I got something. Okay. DK is needed. Scale the version of the flower type. Yeah, no. Soldier, if you have a proposal, again, we're always open.
A 100% of people say yes.
Do your poll.
Yeah.
I need to get on Twitter and vote no right now. Cool.
Okay, 'cause I just voted it.
Oh, you're putting me on blast on that? What if Kyle Mooney sees this and he's like, I'm never gonna be friends with Christian now? Like,
You just have to say yes.
I'm not gonna be bullied into voting against my.
Try to change your mind.
Ooh.
Get it?
We can get him to come to the next community meeting.
He'll wrap bricks of
Shit's a brick. Shits are a brick, yeah.
Oscar.
Okay. All right. I think that's a wrap. Gonna make a soundboard with your voice quotes. Okay. We'll get Kyle Mooney to spit some rhymes on top of it. I think that'd be dope. Oh, Zeus Dog is here. Hey. Yeah, please direct all follow-ups to Zeus. She'll be standing by.
Wait, how come I don't get a soundboard with my voice quotes?
Oh wait, hold on. Big Mac sauce. Do you have your hand up? What's up? Oh, I see it. Hold on. All right, caller, you're on the air.
Yo, what's up?
How you doing?
Doing great, and you?
Fantastic.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Hani. He's great, man. I love that guy. And also, I appreciate Max a lot. That's it.
That was it? You just wanted to come up to give a shout out? That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we second that. Both OGs.
Yeah, that's it though. Yeah, thank you for
That
your
was really
service,
nice of
man.
you. Yeah. This Thanksgiving, you were thankful for Hani and Max.
Yes.
Amazing. Cool. Uh-oh.
Peace out.
Just, uh, that was really nice. I love our community. They're amazing. Cool. All right, everybody. Have a great week. And we'll talk to you soon.